morning, everyone. Welcome to Vermont Sun and Shade. Thanks for being with me today. Happy Friday. I hope everyone's doing well and staying safe. So if you are in Vermont, the temperature right now is a -3. However, it's going up to about 22 today, so that's pretty nice. And we have a lot of sun already shining in. So with that, I want to talk to you a little bit about WCAX's article that Savannah Guthrie's, if you have heard, Savannah Guthrie is an on the Today Show. She is, some people reference her as a news anchor, but she is in, excuse me, in the television career. Hello, Omi. That's my little bird, as you know. So they're saying hello to you this morning. So I hope everyone's doing well. Now, this article is by the WCAX news team, and it was just put out yesterday. So it says, as people across the nation follow the search in Arizona for Nancy Guthrie's, the missing mother of the Today Show. That's the name of her mom. We're going to review just what is going on with this situation. If you haven't heard, because I know when I first was hearing little bits and pieces of it, wasn't getting the whole. It just wasn't making sense to me. So I watched the news conference yesterday, and we're going to look for any updates today, and I'll update you on this. But how is Savannah Guthrie connected to Vermont? So it says WCAX News has learned there's also family here in Vermont. So WCAX has confirmed that Colonel Cameron Guthrie is Nancy Guthrie's son. Okay, Colonel, C-O-L, abbreviation for Colonel. Cameron Guthrie is Nancy Guthrie's son. Nancy Guthrie is Savannah Guthrie's mom. So it's her brother, basically. He is a longtime fighter pilot with the Green Mountain Boys and retired from Vermont National Guard in 2018. Now, here, I'll show you a picture. They show a picture of him. There he is with Savannah. A photo shows Cameron and Savannah Guthrie together when the news anchor flew in Vermont F-16 with her older brother. That's a huge honor. If you are in Vermont or a Vermonter, you have seen the F-16s. You've especially over the Williston, South Burlington area, the airport there. The F-6, I used to live there for 10 years. And you could count on, right up to a couple of years ago, you could count on like just seeing them in the sky and hearing them. People would come out, even as they're so loud. If they're too low, you could absolutely, if you're not good on your balance, you could absolutely collapse to the ground. That is how powerful these F-16s are. Hi, welcome. And so we would come out all the time and watch them. They'd come out in formation. They'd come out usually about 3 to 5 seconds apart, and they'd fly, and then and us friends would text each other, hey, they're heading to Montpelier, or friends of mine would say, hey, the F-16s just came through Montpelier, and like that. So the F-16s are huge. So that's a huge honor. Savannah got to fly in an F-16 with her brother, Cameron Guthrie. As of Thursday afternoon, investigators said they believe Nancy Guthrie is still out there, but they have not identified any suspects in her disappearance. We're gonna talk about why this is so important that she actually has family here in a minute, just the way this case is going. Arizona police said Thursday that DNA test showed blood was found on Nancy Guthrie's porch. Um, it was hers. So they did the testing. It tested positive that it was hers. Nancy Guthrie was reported missing 5 days ago. I think it might be a little longer than that now, this being February 6th. So she was missing, reported 5 days ago. Investigators said they are taking ransom notes sent to media outlets seriously. The FBI chief in Phoenix, Arizona, said the notes included a demand for money with a deadline. And that's the end of the article. So I'm going to show you a picture of what Nancy Guthrie looks like. So, and we're going to go over, we'll try to get an update here on her missing. Let's see. I'm going to show you a picture of her. Oh, they're showing her in her younger days. Hold on. Okay, so let's see. Okay, News Nation. I'm surprised WCAX did not. Here we go. Missing person. She is under the missing person. Now, these pictures don't seem to be very large to me, but you're going to get a good idea what she looks like right here. Okay, that's Nancy Guthrie, and I'm going to see if I get another good picture in a moment. But let's get the story, and I'll tell you what I know. Okay, so the news conference yesterday, I just want to give you just a summary of what I heard. Okay, so as I understand it, so for those of you scrolling and just kind of, tapping in here, so we're talking about the news anchor Savannah Guthrie, who was on the Today Show. Her mom, Nancy Guthrie, went missing about 5 days ago. Now, as I understand it, it was about 2 o'clock in the morning that the pacemaker that she wears was disconnected. And then it was something like 2:28, if I'm remembering the time right, that the camera on the doorbell camera was, or her cell phone, I'm sorry, it was her cell phone was disconnected, and then the camera ring on the doorbell was disconnected. So I'm not an investigator by any means. However, deductive reasoning and just logic would tell you this person was definitely familiar with her home and with her medical condition, because they disconnected her pacemaker. So now she is, as I understand it, she's, I believe, 84. Yeah, she's 84 years old, and she's about 150 pounds and about 5'5". Now, when you hear 150 pounds for an 84-year-old, you're like, oh, that's a really big woman. No, 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 no. Because you got to remember, with older people, ligaments and tendons, unfortunately, the tendons and whatnot, they kind of turn to a fatty tissue, which adds weight, more of a weight. So with that, she's not necessarily a really big person. She's an elderly 84-year-old person. So what emerged from this is a couple of things. They had on YouTube, if you look on YouTube, you put in her name, you're going to find all kinds of clips coming up. There's a few reputable clips probably you want to stay with, because Some of them took and sensationalized the fact that there were actually blood droplets, and a good number of them, a trail of it from the front door down the front path. They did DNA testing of that and found that they were in fact tested positive, and they are Nancy Guthrie's. It is Nancy Guthrie's. So with that, we want to stay really positive, because what's occurring now is that there's ransom notes apparently being sent. Now, some of these may just be people who are not well in the mind, taking advantage of the situation and sending these notes. Now, why is Cameron Guthrie's connection so important? In my opinion, again, I am not an expert, I am not a detective, any of it. But if this person who kidnapped this poor, sweet woman knows about the pacemaker, disconnected her cell phone, disconnected the Ring camera, knew how to get in there and get what, was probably, and do they know that she is Savannah's mom? They probably do. Would they know if they knew that the cops are saying no, it's probably not connected. However, Savannah is an entertainment figure. She is a celebrity. Now, if they know about her, would they know about a brother who drive? Because flying an F-16 is nothing to sneeze at. Let me just tell you, you have to be high in the ranks to do that. That's significant status. So would they know about him being here in Vermont? Probably, in my opinion. Look how easily I found out. Just, you know what I mean? There was a picture of her posing with her brother that probably made the papers then. So let's say, so the fact that she was kidnapped in Arizona, it's way across the states. What are the chances that there's anything that occurs here, where they had? Can I just tell you, not even looking at this case, just in general, do you know where people go when they're trying to be under the radar? They go out to places like this, to Vermont, New Hampshire, Maine. They head up to Canada area. Where I was up in Derby, Vermont. Okay, I was not up there long. Do you know why? Because it is so remote. It is just, you are off the radar, people. You are. Now, if you stop in a little grocery store, a little convenience store, they're going to notice like you're new in town right away, because these are family-oriented businesses, and even down in just northern Vermont, or even like all through Vermont, they're going to notice you coming through. However, there are the larger stores all through Vermont, like Walmart, CVS, Kinney. They may not notice. However, this is where people head when they want to stay under the radar. Vermonters know that. Okay, so so let's look at the update on this sweet Nancy Guthrie. And I send love and light and pray that they find her quickly. Now, she has also medication that she needs to be taking for cardiac issues and blood pressure. I know all about that because I too am on medication for blood pressure, and they watch my heart. But I'm gonna tell you, I want to exude hope in that area, because many times, having a condition like that, you've learned to keep yourself calm. So with that, that does have a lot to do with keeping your health, staying healthy. Hi, Ed and Kristen. Hi, guys, and Alpia. Hi, how are you guys? I hope you're well. So this is an update. This is as of yesterday. Savannah Guthrie's mom still missing. Police share ransom details. So let's take a look at the details, guys. And it doesn't say, hey, Vermonters and people going through Vermont, keep your eyes open. But you know what? I've learned, keep your eyes open because you never know. This is a state that people do, like I say, come to be under the radar. A desperate search for Nancy Guthrie, the elderly mom of today anchor Savannah Guthrie, continues as the family and the community rally together. Authorities believe Nancy Guthrie, 84 years old, was taken from her home outside Tucson, Arizona, against her will, and they are now offering $50,000. Hi, Cardi. How are you today? Did you get that, guys? They're offering $50,000 for information that leads to finding her. At a press conference Thursday, now if you didn't watch the press conference, take a listen, because they have the FBI lead, a person there also with the police force, and they're working very nicely together. But they do address in the conference why the scene was left open after the police investigated and went through everything, and then they went back with the FBI and they reinvestigated it. That is common practice, and it really is if they're going to bring in another agency many times. And not only that, sometimes the police themselves will just go back and take a look at this or take a look at that. But they were under scrutiny and criticism as, why on earth did you leave the scene open? Now I'm going to tell you something. I was not impressed at all, and I can't think of his last name, but there was a news reporter called Enton, and I guess he did everything right, but I was not impressed. And I really do hope he had permission of the family before he went up to the door and videotaped the blood droplets on the front door of Nancy's home. He must have had permission, but I didn't like that, because when you look at the home of Nancy Guthrie, that is remote. The home is remote. It's not like a lot of us where the homes are right on the sidewalk or not too far from the street, or you can walk through a neighborhood and there's a little yard. It is very remote. You have to walk a little bit. You have to drive out into the country, and then walk a bit to get to her front door. So I'm really hoping that respect is exercised where the journalists are, hidden, kind of hidden, exactly. And so, be respectful, because, like, I'm saying to the journalists, because if this was my mom, I may reach out to a journalist and say, please, please, please cover this and get as much information, because I'd want my mom to be returned, right? But you want to consult with the police, you want to consult with the FBI. So I do hope that, because that particular Enton is his first name, you guys might know him, but he went on and on. Oh, the scene was left open and I could walk right up to the door. What doesn't mean that you should walk up to the door. And the scene was left open most likely because the police, yes, they were done with it, but also because, yeah, like you said, it was hidden, it was remote, the home. So I do get very advocacy about those things, because I just today do not like to see people's situations being taken advantage of just because you could. You know that cliche, I did because I could, and that kind of thing. That's not enough. No, 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 no. So they believe that Nancy, so who is that? Exiandre, hi, you're new, welcome. Welcome. And Carly and I think Boo Boo or something I didn't see. Hi, welcome guys. So in a video message released Wednesday, February 4th, Savannah Guthrie and her siblings issued a very emotional plea for her return. And they said that they're ready to talk to whoever may have taken her. Guthrie family friend Sally Shamrell helped organize a prayer service, saying on the Today Show, February 5th, that the loving, kind, warm Nancy was like a second mom to her. Follow for updates. Oh, this is a really good picture of her, guys. Hold on. So, and then we're going to talk about this for another moment. You see? Okay, so for those of you who, like, I'm an artist, I'm going, like, I can do a caricature, like, I'm going to do a drawing of her. So some of the key features, just for those of you who are not, like, you may look at the picture and then you may not, like, remember her later. Remember these key things. Take a look at this picture again. So her hair looks like it naturally parts a little bit over on the side. You see it? So it's not a part that's right smack in the middle. Her eyes, she has small eyes, guys. They're not huge. They're small. They're a little bit together even. She has if you want to describe, like, her nose is small. It's kind of like a small nose. Kind of curved. Looks like it's curved to me a little bit. Her complexion is light. She looks petite. They said she's about 5'5". They put her at 150 pounds. But if you fall to 145 pounds, pretty quickly you look much thinner. You just do. At that age especially. So she might be looking a little thinner. And she has a nice smile. But is she going to be smiling? Probably not. I'm just saying, there could be a sighting of this woman. And the reason I'm saying it is they may be driving and or going from one place to another place, like you know, to what do I want to say, stay under the radar from authorities. I'm guessing. I'm just guessing. So let me show you what a picture of Savannah Guthrie and her mom look like, because they've had that picture out. Okay, so here's some more pictures. There's no picture of her not smiling. So this is her, trying to get her when she's a little older, I think right here. Okay, her hair is short in every single one of these pictures. One picture, if you look here, she has glasses. You see, the glasses? And here she is again, right here with her mom. So someone just made a comment. I'm not sure what the comment is about. Is it about the kidnapping? Saying who would do that? Well, they're investigating to find out who did do this. So this looks like a more recent picture of Savannah and her mom. So you see her hair again is kind of parted over on a side. You see that in almost every single picture. So anyway, just putting that out there, you never know. They want everybody to keep their eyes open. And if you have anything at all, like if you think that you've seen her or something, or you see something, what is that cliche? You see something that is not right, you know, give a call and just let them know, because this is definitely a national hunt for her. She is a missing person, considered kidnapped at this point. So if you have any comments or you have any updates, information you want to share, let us know. Why are we on here today? Because Savannah Guthrie's mom, Nancy Guthrie, is the mother of a Vermont F-16 pilot, Cameron Guthrie of Vermont. So they've got Vermont ties here. And does it mean anything? Maybe it's far reaching that these people who are behind her disappearance would come to Vermont or try to connect with the brother? Or does it have anything to do with Savannah being a celebrity? We don't know. But what they do know is they want the safe return of their 84-year-old sweet little mom who is on medication. And aside from that, she's probably missing her family and she needs care. So with that, love and light and prayers to the Guthrie family. Let's hope for her safe return. WCAX is following this. I will be following them, and I'll come back on when there's updates to share. So God bless everyone. Thank you for being with me. Please stay warm this weekend if you're in Vermont. We have sub-zero weather coming in. We have a cold weather warning telling everyone to stay in from 6 o'clock tonight, Friday night, to 1 o'clock Saturday afternoon. So love and light.